Good morning. I would like to call this meeting to order. Thank you for joining us for our really hybrid MLS breakfast meeting. My name is Samson for Pinnacle Real Estate Group, and I'm your April Poland chair. We would like to have Cosmo Sanchez to do a pledge of allegiance for us.
Thank you, Samson. Please join me. Put your right hand over your heart. Flag is to my right here. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Thank you. Thank you, Cosmo. We'll now have Amy continue the inspirational quote.
Today, the inspirational quote is from Portal Edison and 85 from Dumbledore. Do not follow where the path will lead you. Go instead where there's no path and leave a trail. This is what Dumbledore is doing. Have a great day.
Thank you, Amy. All right, here's a little about. My name is Samson Wu, and I'm a dedicated and passionate professional with a diverse background in digital marketing and also real estate. I began my career as a digital marketing specialist, where all my expertise in Google PPC and Facebook marketing. I am fluent in both Mandarin and Cantonese. I was able to efficiently communicate with clients in various backgrounds. Prior to diving into the real estate industry, I worked at a software solution company. I contribute to provide top-notch IT secure solutions for major clients like Samsung and LG. After some time in this field, I transitioned into the lending industry as a mortgage loan originator. This position allowed me to deepen my understanding of the industry and spark my love for helping clients to solve their problems. Today, I'm proud to be one of the 8 coaches at Pinnacle Real Estate Group, where I dedicate myself to guiding and empowering new agents on their journey to succeed. My passion for the real estate industry is matched only with my love for sports and outdoor activities. In my free time, you can find me playing badminton, snowboarding, mountain biking, or exploring new travel destinations. All right, that's about me. Thank you. Next, if you're a member and would like to make an announcement, please fill out an announcement form located on my left and return complete form to Pauline. Thank you. A few housekeeping tips. All participants on Zoom will be muted upon entry to the MLS breakfast meeting. And should you have a question or a comment, please remember to enter it into the chat box. Please remember to join us weekly as we have our hybrid MLS breakfast meeting every Thursday at 9 a.m. As always, this meeting is being recorded and will be available online on our YouTube channel, West Singapore Valley Realtors. Please remember to follow WSGBR social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also watch all our recorded video on YouTube. To join our text message group for updates, text WSGBR to the number 888-301-2201. Today's agenda consists of our affiliate spotlight, Sylvia Mora with Loyalty ESCO, and our guest speaker, Attorney Kelly Richardson from Richardson Ober LLP. Just a reminder that to be eligible for today's drawing, you must be a WSGBR member and be present in person at the association. We'll be having an attendance drawing, Amazon gift card drawing, and a 50-50 raffle. Today, our affiliate spotlight will be brought to you by the affiliate committee. Chair Lina Sankari of US Bank and Vice Chair Teresa Yuyan of Loan Direct. Take it away, Sylvia.
Hi, my name is Sylvia. Hold on, you guys, bring me around closer to I'm sorry, can you guys hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, good morning. As I was saying, my name is Sylvia Mora. I'm with Loyalty Escrow. I think you've seen my partner Diana Beltran stand by here next to me most of the time. We do escrow. We are located in Temple City. You guys are welcome to come to our office to say hi, to have breakfast with us, to chit chat with us. We're there to help you guys get better estimates. Anything you guys may need for your clients, we are available. On our business cards, I'll pass them around shortly. We have our cell phones, emails. You guys can text us over the weekend, late nights. We'll answer you guys for any questions you guys may have, or that we can assist you with any escrows that you guys currently have with another company and maybe need some kind of help in it. We are here to help. And any questions you guys may have about escrow, I'm happy to answer. Good, thank you guys. Nice to see you all.
All right, thank you, Sylvia. A friendly introduction for today. A friendly present today. Please line up at the front. This is a morning party. We will begin with a third in person.
I ran up here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just excited to introduce myself. I am a mortgage lender. My name is Cosmo Sanchez. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. My name is Mackenzie Hong. I'm with Morris Plus Property Inspections.
Good morning, Amy Kwan, founder of Double Door, your Zillow Cross Airbnb PropTech startup.
Good morning, Nancy Chan, lawyer's title. Thank you.
Good morning, Dana Goodman, Wintrust Mortgage.
Good morning, my name is Phoebe Liu. I'm from ESS Bank. I'm a local commercial home loan officer. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Good morning, it's Angie Wong from Loan Direct. Have a good day.
Good morning, everyone. Ashley Chow with HSBC Bank. Have a good day.
Good morning, everyone. Lily Hall with Aria Tri-County.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, Lina Sinclair from US Bank Home Mortgage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Carol with Spargo Home Loan Mortgage.
Good morning, everyone. Jacqueline Chu from Champion Escrow. Happy Easter.
Good morning. It's Ken Sher from Trans Global Private Lending. Have a great Easter.
Good morning, everybody. Ed Iguchi with New York Life. Again, hoping is not a good plan. Thank you.
Good morning, Alina Chu from Glen Oaks Escrow. Have a wonderful day. I wish everybody a happy Easter this weekend and Tang, First American title.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. This is Brandon Spransky with First American NHD, and a happy Passover to those who celebrate.
Good morning. This is Alex, your home share master. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is John. Finally, I'm official. I paid my membership. So I'm with San Diego, so I do a personal blinds. Thank you and have a great happy Easter.
Hi, my name is Teresa Lamb with Corinthia Title. And have a nice day.
Good morning, everybody. Nice and sunny day. I'm Lucia Tam, representing CarePa, Chinese American Real Estate Professionals Association. Have a great weekend.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Derek Talbert from CST Insurance. You guys have a happy Easter.
Good morning, David Tran with Home Call Home Warranty. I always have your fortune in mind.
Thank you, David, and thank you all.
Good morning, everyone. Chris Hahn with Guild Mortgage. Happy Easter to everybody and happy Passover today.
Thank you. Next, we will call on the family who are joining us virtually.
Good morning, this is Judy Chow, Senior Loan Officer for
AAA Capital Investment.
Good morning, this is Judy Chow, Senior Loan Officer. Have a great week.
Thank you, Judy. We have John Wax from Snap NHD.
Good morning, everyone. John Wax with Snap NHD Natural Hazard Disclosures, wishing you all a wonderful Passover and a happy Easter weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, John. We have Jeanette Lowe with ACG Funding.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not there, but I'm here. I hope everyone's business just like a bunny jumping up and down. I'm with ACG Funding. Have a good day.
All right, I guess Teresa's here. Thank you, Teresa. And we have Sandy Franco from First American Home Warranty.
Good morning, everyone. Sandy Franco, First American Home Warranty. Happy Passover to those who celebrate that, and happy Easter on Sunday.
Thank you, Sandy. And we have Mark Wu with Global Insurance Services.
Good morning, everybody. Easter blessings. I'm here to service your property insurance needs. Have a delightful weekend.
All right, thank you, Mark. Please remember to support our affiliate with your transactions. We're happy to include open pitching to our MLS as breakfast meeting. Remember, if you would like to pitch your listing, you must go to the www.wsjbar and click on the open pitch. Fill out the relevant request form and submit no later than Tuesday midnight of the week you want to pitch. Today, we have two listing featured. First, we have Melissa Chen of Coldwell Banker Dynasty. The floor is yours, Melissa.
Hello, everybody. My listing is not new, but seller has price improvement and dropping $2,010 right now. So very motivated seller. So hopefully you guys bring the buyer to my open house. I want to give a few features also too. Again, this is really large lot, 19,000 square feet. And the center of Arcadia, walking to all the shopping centers. And Ober did a lot of renovation for the house outside and also landscaping, if you want to see. And also right now, because the time is really warm, not raining anymore. So all the grass, everything is blossom and it's very, very pretty in the backyard. So I'm hoping you guys bring your buyers tour during the weekend. We have 2 days open house this Saturday, Sunday from 1 to 4. Here, I have some flyers, or you need, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Next, we have Ortega from Ortega Broker.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura Ortega. I'm an independent broker. And I have my beautiful listing here in San Gabriel. It is in unincorporated area. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It's been on the market now for about 13 days. And just a little highlight is I represent a group of investors, and we did a beautiful renovation on this home, and just looking for the perfect buyer to come in and make it their own. It is completely turnkey, and everything is brand new. So feel free to come by. There's a Supra on the front door. Come and take a look on this beautiful day. If you like to go by today, there is a Supra on the water pipe at the door. Thank you so much for having me, and have a happy Easter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Attorney Kelly Richardson. Mr. Richardson is a partner of Richardson Ober LLP, a firm with office in Pasadena, Riverside, and Ober. He is legal counsel to 6 association of realtors, is a licensed broker, and a Silver Bear CAR supporter. He for 20 years was a GRI instructor and is a lifetime member of CAR's Legal Affairs Forum, Home Ownership Housing Committee, and Investment Housing Committee. Welcome to our guest speaker, Attorney Kelly Richardson.
As we start, I'm going to have a lot of information for you today on the screen. Don't worry, I'm going to email Albert and Glenn, so you can have all. You don't need to take pictures of the screen, and you can just hopefully enjoy the presentation. The other thing I want to tell you is that you've heard a lot about so-called toxic mold, haven't you? I mean, if you haven't heard about toxic mold, then you've been on the moon. But this is going to be a presentation that you have never heard before, because I'm the only speaker, I think, probably in your career who's going to talk to you about mold, and I'm not making money off mold. That's the difference between me and everybody else talking to you about mold. No money off this topic. but there's a lot you need to know that people who are making billions of dollars in the United States today are not telling you about mold. Now, first of all, this is the mold that I knew when I was growing up. See that okay? Yeah, that was mold, right? You have some mold on some cheese. What do? Do you call the police and an ambulance and you take your kids and put them in a motel? No, you take a knife, cut the moldy part of the cheese off, you throw the moldy piece of bread in the trash, you keep the bread, at least I do, because that's cheese, okay? So that's the mold we knew, but everything, and we're going to talk about how it changed in the year 2000, 2001. Good to see you, Vince. All right, so first of all, mold has been with us for hundreds of millions of years as a life form. It is not new. In fact, it's mentioned in the Bible. And I got these Bible quotes from a mold seminar that, like you, I sat in a room and I listened to somebody tell me how mold was going to kill us all and so on. And so they start by quoting the book of Leviticus in the Old Testament. Well, it talks about mold and mildew there. And what does it say? If you read that in chapter 14, verses 33 through 48, it says that you're supposed to have the priest come in and you try to clean it out. And after a week, if it's still going, then you're supposed to destroy the whole house and take it all apart. So we had toxic mold consultants apparently back in that day too, telling you had to tear apart your home. So they love to, as starting off their scare seminars, one of the first things they do is say, hey, we're not going to hold this very, very serious. Little side note, we all heard the story about the house up in Oregon that was burned down because of so-called toxic mold. This was about 18 years ago. You know what they never told us? That it actually had been donated to the fire department to burn down for a test exercise. It had nothing to do with the mold. Okay, all right. You're going to hear a lot of those anecdotes. Okay? Yeah, nobody else is going to tell you. All right, here's the all-time villain of all the molds. They came up with the Stachybotrys chartarum. Even the name sounds frightening, very scientific, right? And one of the things that they told us back in 2001 is Stachy, it manufactures a byproduct, a waste product that is very similar to the poison that causes botulism. Oh my God, botulism, that kills you, right? You open up a bad can of mushrooms or you eat it and then you die. Okay, well, that they connected this Stachybotrys to that. Stachy tends to be the mold that everybody freaks out about the most. I don't know why, but that's, and so that's kind of what it looks like. And it's been alleged to cause all these bad nausea to nosebleeds, exhaustion, and cancer and death. Seriously, though, everything but the loyalty to the sports teams, those are all things that you'll find in advertisements and articles that blame on Stachybotrys, okay? But wait to hear the whole story because there's more. It's very simple. And the reason why in the United States we have more mold these days has to do with the fact that we changed our construction methods, okay? So mold is caused by three things. Sustained exposure to moisture in contact with a paint or wood product that mold can eat, and then it doesn't dry out quickly enough. So if you have a massive flood in your house or in a condo, and you dry it out in a day or two, you won't have mold at all. But if that leaks and seeps for weeks at a time, and it's in a dark place, and it's touching drywall or wood, you will see mold start to build up. By the way, before toxic mold exploded in 2001, a lot of us would occasionally from time to time have mold on our tub and our shower grout around our tile, right? That happens because of poor ventilation in the bathroom. Soap scum is a carbon base, it's an organic material, and mold can eat off that. So what did we do when we had little black spots in our shower before 2001? Again, did we tear our bathroom out and evacuate them? No, we took some Tilex and went spray, wet. So that's what causes mold. So if it stays wet for a long time and it doesn't have the chance to dry out because there's not enough air moving, then you can have mold happen. Now, You might not have noticed this, but we've had a little bit of rain in the last 4 months. So yeah, you can write that down. We've had a lot of rain. So I am quite sure that a lot of us are dealing with leaks, window leaks, and deck leaks because of the onslaught of that wonderful rain that we've been enjoying. And you know, the next thing is we've got to look for toxic molds. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. Why is it that if mold is millions of years old? I used to say tens of thousands of years old, and I had somebody write me an email and say mold is actually millions of years old. So it's millions of years old. Whether it's thousands, why has it become such a big deal now? It has to do with the way that we in California and the United States changed our building techniques and our building materials. See, when I was a little kid, we had walls that were made of plaster. You would have wood slats or wood material that would hold the plaster, and then you would spread on a concrete type material, plaster, that would then dry, right? Well, mold can't grow on concrete. It's not an organic material. So then we switched, we got this great idea. We used drywall, which is highly compressed gypsum powder. And then what's on each side? A layer of paper. Paper is ground up wood. Wonderful. It's like a little petri dish for mold because it's organic. So the way that we changed, the way we build houses, condos, and apartments had a huge impact on the environment to grow mold. That's the first thing. The second thing is, bluntly, in the 1970s and 80s, we had an incredible construction boom, and we also had a terrible lack of quality control in residential construction. So we had billions wasted on leaky, horrible roofs and bad flashed windows and badly flashed decks. And so we had lots of leaks happening. Now you have lots of construction materials that are more prone, more susceptible to mold. You get that. And then in 2001, we had a new awareness of how mold allegedly affects us. So you put that all together, and then you have lawyers, toxic mold consultants, and we have a whole industry scaring us in the media about toxic mold. So that is where it came from. Now, the panic, microtoxins, that sounds scary, and because mold, infinitesimal but measurable amounts of waste products that are, then we started calling it toxic mold. Now, don't tell anybody, but some of us, we make toxic every day from our bodies. So, yeah, we're all toxic people, right? So I don't know if we should be so close to each other. Sam's a pretty handsome guy, but by that definition, so that's literally how this got scary. They started calling it mold. Okay, and then what happened is there was an incident before 1999. There was a story about animals that were eating moldy hay, and they were getting sick. And so somebody wrote a report in 1999 to the World Health Organization and said, hey, this mold is bad for you. Well, it's bad for horses and cows that eat piles of moldy material. And then there was a story in the Ohio River Valley in about 1999. The kids were playing and in some moldy hay. They were playing, they weren't eating it, but they were playing in it and they got sick. And they theorized that what was unusual about what they were doing, well, maybe it was the mold made them sick. And so we had these claims that maybe that's the problem. So then by the year 2000, we had this fear, this stories about toxic mold and people living in tents in their own backyards. I'll tell you a story about that. And the mold scare was in full swing. Here's an from the New York, this is the front page for the New York Daily News, September 10, 2001. Now, remember in New Year's Day 2000, remember what we barely survived? Remember Y2K? right? Everybody was terrified that the world will come to a halt. We're all going to live in caves again because of what? Well, somehow we all survived Y2K. Well, within a matter of months, we had to have something else to be terrified of, didn't we? And mold took its place. Mold in 2000, the panic du jour. And so here's one front page: toxic mold, killer mold. This makes people sick. Okay, and of course people are suing because that's what Americans do. When you're upset, you sue. Okay, here's another front page. New York Times Magazine. Look at this mansion, beautiful stairway, and somebody in a spacesuit right in front of it, August 12th. Okay, so here you go. This is what our clients and friends and neighbors are seeing. And here's some signs. That story on the left, that picture on the left with the person and looking like in a hazmat, actually almost a contagious disease setup. That was an advertisement that I found on the internet just a couple of years ago. And of course, we have all these other signs: house contained toxic mold, and then these kinds of signs hearing people about mold. That's an advertisement on the upper left with the lady holding the handwritten sign. Okay, here's something, an ad also that you can probably still find on the internet. I saw it not too long ago. Look at what the industry is telling you mold can cause, toxic mold. Health problems, liver problems, even death, reproductive problems. There were people scared about birth defects of pregnant women, children being born. This is what they've been telling our clients toxic mold causes. Here's something from England. It's not just in the US. It's from 2016. This is a television news story. Mom finds deadly mold in hidden room. Here, though, is my debate. The state. You love your and you'll spend tens of thousands of dollars. Because otherwise, you know, this is an actual ad. I didn't make these things up. You can find all these on the internet. Okay, so what are the results of this panic? Well, first of all, the cost of water damage claims throughout the United States skyrocket. Remember, I'm going to send you all these slides. Okay, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Skyrocketing water damage claims. There are statistics that I cut out of this presentation because of time that showed that the way that the average water claim skyrocketed, 50%, 100% increase in a span of a couple of years. Why is it? Well, because you had residents and tenants and homeowners and HOAs, not surprisingly, terrified. I mean, wouldn't you be scared if all of a sudden in the middle of this presentation, I got a note that said this room is filling with that might be a problem for all of us? Yeah, we would be really, we go, Albert, yes, in our main room at the West St. Gabriel Board, right? We would freak out. And that's what people did with toxic mold, because they became worried that they were exposed to something that would harm them and their children. So what does that result in? Well, we had this cottage industry. It's now been around for more than 20 years of so-called toxic mold consultants, who, as I'll tell you again in a few minutes, are not licensed by any governmental agency. California has no toxic mold consultant. Yeah. You'll see certifications they'll tell you about, but they're not issued by the government. They're issued by an industry that is consisting of who? The mold consultants, right? Okay. So, and of course, what's the result of all this panic and a new cottage industry of consultants and upset, frightened people? Well, lawsuits and lawyers making a lot of money and insurance companies paying a lot of money. So what happened out of this? Well, the California legislature acted very, very quickly. 2001, they passed Senate Bill 732, the Toxic Mold Protection Act of 2001. 1 year after the mold scare started, boom, our legislature got in. They said, well, we want the Department of Public Health, State Department of Public Health, to create permissible exposure levels. Okay, you can see this statute if you really want to nerd out on this. Look at California Health and Safety Code 6100 and the sections following it. And basically, it says that the state is supposed to create these health standards so that we know types of mold are dangerous, how many pieces of mold, at what point does it become dangerous or unhealthy for all of us. Okay? Makes sense, right? Here's the problem. 22 years later, we still don't have permissible exposure limits. PELs, don't have them. Now, why is that? Well, it's because nobody's been able to figure out the answer to that question. There is no standard on what kind of mold or what amount of what kind of mold is considered unhealthful. That's from the Center for Disease Control. You've heard of them, right? For the last... Yeah, okay. Recognized standard. Okay, so what did the California Department of Public Health say to the legislature 4 years later? In 2005, they wrote a report to the legislature. This is a public document. You can pull it up yourself on the internet, but I've excerpted it for you. What they said is, oh, the Department of Scientists evaluated developing a PEL, and we can't do it. It's not possible. And in 2000 and 2005, they said, sorry, we can't do this right now. We don't have the science. We don't have the ability to do it. Okay, 2005. Well, they did a follow-up update to the legislature in 2008. And they said once again, for all these reasons, we can't create science-based permissible exposure limits. So that's the last word. You can look this up in 2011. This was the last time the state California Department of Public Health has spoken on the issue. They said that they don't have these permissible exposure levels. And they said, look what's highlighted. Hey, Albert. Oh, you hearing me? Couldn't realize. So the people online can't hear? I'm sorry, online people. It's, you know what? My voice got down because of all the lobster I ate before line. So there you go. All right. So all right. So look at the red and underlined text here. Department of Public Health tell all of us we recommend against measuring in the presence of specific microorganisms to determine the level of health need for urgent remediation. What? But I thought the first thing is you see little speckles on the wall. Get a mold test. Why isn't anybody telling us this? Because nobody's making money from telling you what the state of California is recommending. And the state of California is not a profit-making business, so they're not embarking on big campaigns, right? So this is public. You can find this. Look it up yourself. This is everything I'm telling you today. It's all based on state or federal governmental resources, not Kelly Richardson, not an insurance group, not a lawyer group. Everything is from governmental sources. Okay. All right. So let me keep going. Should I get a mold test? What does the U.S. Center for Disease Control? You've heard of them, right? Yes, we've all heard of them. Okay. And what do they tell us? There are no standards for what is an acceptable or unacceptable level of mold in a given spot. So they're saying no. There's no point in finding out how many mold spores of what variety are in a given space. That's from the U.S. Center for Disease Control, not from Farmers Insurance. Yeah, okay, but there's more. What is the Environmental Protection Agency? You know, those guys. Wait, the EPA? They specifically say there's no need to test for mold. Sampling is unnecessary. Again, this is from their website. Albert and staff will email all this to all of you. You can find this and reproduce this yourselves, okay? So we've got, what do we got? We've got the Center for Disease Control. We've got the EPA telling us don't test. Here is another question and answer from the EPA website. Is sampling or testing for mold necessary? What do they say? In most cases, if visible mold growth is present, sampling is unnecessary. The California Department of Public Health actually has weighed in on this, In the last 2 years, they created a consumer video that you can find on their website. What is it called? No need for mold testing. I didn't create that picture. That's from the website from the California Department of Public Health. Wow. So federal and state are both telling you from different departments, why are you wasting money on mold tests? There's no point to the mold tests. Here's the problem that comes out of these mold tests. First of all, the expense. Our clients are spending sometimes thousands, at least many hundreds of dollars, to take these little samples of mold and send them off to a lab, or to take air samples. Many years ago, actually, PRI sent me to a mold seminar. This was 15 years ago at least, maybe 20, that was led by a bunch of scientists and professors, and they were talking about what is the knowledge of mold. And they were saying back then that taking air sampling of any space is really recommended against. They said, because we could take an air sample of this room right now while we're all sitting very still. 5 minutes later, the HVAC comes on, completely changes the characteristics of the air. 10 minutes later, we open a window. 10 minutes after that, the gardener is out there, mowing lawns, okay? Each of those things can dramatically change the characteristics of the air in a given space. And oh, by the way, if somebody took a shower or cooked something 5 minutes before, that also. So these scientists said that taking airborne sampling is really not useful because it is so difficult to get a truly accurate reading. So the first thing is we have the expense. Then we have data, which is frightening our clients. It's disembodied from any reality. So when they see Aspergillus, Penicillium, Stachybotrys chartarum, Cladosporum, they see these terribly scary names, and then they see these spore counts, and they get terrified. Well, this is bad. This must be bad. But nobody's telling them that these levels mean nothing. So what the mold companies do, the testing labs do, is most of them have a pre-printed report that goes with the actual data from the test. And they tell you, you may wish to dry clean all your clothes. You may wish to run all your dishes through the dishwasher. You may wish to, get rid of your carpeting. And well, it's what they did was they took an asbestos protocol and they just changed the word asbestos to mold, which terrifies people. And mold and asbestos are a universe apart. One is a terrible thing that has been documented for 30 years to be bad for your health, and the other is mold. Okay, people get freaked out. And when people get freaked out, what do they want to do? Well, the contractors and the mold consultants say, well, let's start looking on walls. Where is that mold? Yeah, so I can't tell you how many times each month I tell clients, no, stop, don't go tearing open walls, okay? Don't do it, because then you have to put everything back and you can spend tens of thousands. So unnecessary demolition of homes. And then second or third or fourth mold tests to try to see if the numbers go down and mold is so-called eliminated. You know what? I'm gonna upset you even more today. You realize, all of you, that right now you are breathing oxygen. You are, because there is scientifically no way within reason to eliminate the mold spores that are in this room at the West San Gabriel board right now. So those of you on Zoom, you're not safe either, because whoever you are, there are mold spores swirling all around you too. So don't go, ha ha, I'm glad I'm at home. All right. So there you go. So we're going to have second, third, and fourth tests. And then, of course, the last thing is, what do people do when they're upset and people telling them they have to spend tens of thousands of dollars? They call lawyers. Okay. And then we're off to the races, spending a lot of money. So now we've talked about the scare and why the scare is so bad. What does the scientific community tell us? Well, the National Academy of Sciences, part of the National Institute of Health, they issued a hard copy book. This is my book on my desk there, and it's called Damp Indoor Spaces in Health. This was published in 2004. Anybody heard about it? No, you haven't heard about it, because nobody wants to talk about it in the mold industry. Because if you read this, you're taking money out of the mold people. But what did they say to us back in 2004, May? They said the available evidence is the one thing that the National Academy of Sciences tells us in 2004. 2004. They said mold is a respiratory irritant, like pollen, like dust. The respiratory irritant, that's all it is. There's no medical evidence of anything worse. Now, I don't remember that being mentioned in the media or anywhere since. Did any of you? No, it disappeared. But it's still there. You can still pull it up yourself. You don't have to believe anything I say. You can recreate yourself. There's the thing again, underline. Another report came out in October of 2005. The next year, a doctor named Bill Boggs, he was associated with what university? It was in Oregon. Anyway, look at what the news released there. Support the existence of sick mold syndrome. Sciences University in Portland. That's where the guy was from. So again, nobody heard about this. This appeared on the news wires and went away. Why? Because the people yelling at you and me going, toxic mold, get your children out of the house. They're yelling far louder than the scientific community. And they've been yelling louder ever since. So I feel kind of like John the Baptist out in the wilderness, you know, it's like, I'm the only guy going, there's this one guy, and everybody else is saying, spend money, your children are in danger. Okay, let me keep going. What is the World Health Organization? It's part of the United Nations. Okay? What do they say? In 2009, they issued a 228-page report. I have a copy. If you have trouble sleeping, I'll email it to you, and you can read it. But here's the excerpt that is important. The epidemiological evidence is not sufficient to conclude any causal relationship between indoor mold and any specific human health effect. 2004, 2005, over and over and over, the scientific medical community is trying to tell us, relax, folks, there's no evidence that this thing is as serious as you're being told. So here's what the California Department of Public Health says today are the health risks of mold. Well, known symptoms, asthma attacks, increased wheezing or coughing. Okay, that's 2011. That's still the current statement today. That sounds a lot different than what we've been told, right? Cancer, birth defects, neuralgia, Epstein-Barr syndrome. Yeah, okay, that's what they're telling us. It sounds very similar to what happens in the spring. You know, if you have, look, there are people among us that have very severely sensitive respiratory systems, okay? And it's not an easy life because right now in April, this is the time of year that those people dread because the pollen starts flying around in the air. And those people wind up going to the hospital, they wind up going to the doctor. It's not toxic mold, it's respiratory irritants of any kind, including pollen. An uncle of mine that happens to be my age, when we grew up together, this was the time of year that when he was a kid, he was at the hospital once or twice a year because he would have these terrible asthma attacks triggered by pollen, okay? So if you have the unfortunate situation where you have a respiratory system that is really not great, this mold can be bad for you, just like pollen, just like a dusty garage room, okay? But the rest of us that are blessed with normal health, you cough and sneeze a little bit like you do in your garage when you're doing your spring cleaning. You are doing your spring cleaning, aren't you? I know I am because I have a wife. Make sure I do. Okay, so keeping going. So a dusty room, a pollen-filled spring day, just as dangerous for certain people. I don't mean to minimize or disrespect those people, okay? But it's not the rest of us. So who are the targets of these mold claims? Well, landlords, condo associations, sellers, and you all, because they blame you. Because of course, you're all multimillionaires and you know everything. So it must be your fault, right? Yeah. So those are the targets. So let's talk now about what you really do when you find a mold situation. First thing, don't panic. Don't let your clients panic. True story from Woodland Hills, a townhouse style condo project, longtime client of mine, they had a roof leak. And the contractor went out to repair the roof leak. And they opened up the drywall and he found the source of the leak, but he also saw speckles over the wood in the attic of the ceiling. And he said, this is toxic mold. Get out, everybody, get out now. And so the property manager called me and said, we don't know what to do. Nobody's going to go in the house now. It's toxic mold. I said, please find another contractor. Okay. There's no reason why you can't fix that roof leak. Okay. Really? Go ahead and fix the roof leak. Another contractor who knows what they're doing. I'm not saying the contractor is dishonest. They may have fallen for the same scam that the rest of us have fallen for, but you know, you need somebody who understands. So don't panic. Don't let your client panic. There's a lot of information. The first thing after that, fix the leak, stop the leak, because it's the water infiltration that is the problem, not the mold. The mold is like dry rot. It's a symptom of the problem. Between mold and dry rot, I'm a lot more worried about dry rot because dry rot weakens the strength of wood. Once you fix the water leak, the water is dried out, it's no longer happening. Don't test. You've heard it from the EPA, you heard it from the CDC, you've heard it from the California Department of Public Health. Don't test, there's no reason for it. Determine the scope of repair and then start fixing what needs to be fixed. But you know what the #1 star repair element is? Even today, 22 years after this crazy, 2 years after this scare started, here's the #1 repair for mold. That's it. That's it. Bleach. Yeah, you take, not straight bleach, not straight bleach. You take bleach and you dilute it with water, okay? 1 or 2 parts bleach, maybe something like that, not straight bleach, and you wipe it up. That's the #1 repair technique. The mold industry will not tell you this because you don't need them for this, right? Could you imagine if lawyers told you that you must have legal counsel on every single family home transaction in the state of California, or terrible things will happen? Who benefits from that standard? Right? Us. Who loses? You and your clients. Okay, so let's talk about what the EPA says about cleaning up mold. Here is what the EPA says. Act quickly if you have a mold issue, because the longer you let it sit there, the longer the mold can grow. If the moldy area is less than about 10 square feet, so 10 square feet, pretty big. I mean, the video screen that we have here in the room is probably maybe 10 square feet. Okay, what do you deal with it? Do you call in the toxic mold consultant for this? No, it says you can handle the job yourself. Can you do it? No, you don't need to call these guys and gals. Okay, because what they say is that in that 3 foot by 3 foot, 10 square foot area, what you do is you take a cloth that's dipped in a diluted bleach solution, and you might want to write this down. This is very, very technical. Okay. I'll say it again. It's very, very complex. Wiping. Thank you. You're with me, Teresa. Okay. So that's it. Okay. They said you might want to wear a mask if you're concerned about the dust. If your skin's sensitive, you might want to wear, gloves. But that's it. That your handyman, whoever does your maintenance, can do this. Okay. That's what they're telling us. Wiping. So Kelly, what if it's a bigger mold situation? What if it's okay? Yeah, there's a summary of the New York City Department of Public Health still has the leading mold cleanup protocol. Hello. Okay, they gave it. All right. So anyway, you don't need an expert. You don't need a mold test. You don't need a mold consultant. Your cleanup people can handle it fine. You don't need to vacate the area. You don't need to have people out in the backyard. Just wipe it up, okay? What if it's a little bit larger? What if it's 10 to 30 square feet? Now, 1 sheet of drywall is 4 feet by 8 feet. That's 32 square feet. So an entire sheet of drywall, if it's got mold on it, how do you handle it? Pretty much the same way. Pretty much the same way. You have somebody, your normal maintenance people can handle it. They might want to wear a mask or gloves, maybe goggles if they're worried about getting dust in their air. What you're supposed to do is you spray a little water, mist on it, to moisten it so that the dust doesn't get kicked up as you're wiping it. And then you just wipe it up, and anything that you can't completely clean, tear it out, okay? But that's if you can't wipe it down so that it's all cleaned up. And then you might want to use a vacuum cleaner with a HEPA filter. A lot of us have vacuums at home that have that. If there's over 30 square feet of moldy surface area, then they say call the expert. But be careful, because the experts are going to want to do tests. Why do we need a test? There's mold on this. Let's clean it up, okay? And the expert should be prescribing what's the repair method going to be here. Maybe we're going to put a sheet of plastic and close the room off, but they're not going to say immediately tear out cabinets and tear out walls and remove mold. I'm asking the consultant to tell me about this mold. What do we do about this mold? Okay, and then put the work out to bid. See, one of the mistakes that happens that drives up the cost of mold claims is that the first instinct is to call an emergency services contractor. Now, those people are vital for us all because they're the ones that come out at 2 in the morning, okay? But they're very expensive because they have to have people 24 hours a day available. You don't want them to be dealing with mold claims. Once the water's no longer flowing, don't let the emergency contractor start tearing cabinets and bathroom fixtures out. No, that's not urgent. Once you've got the water stopped and things are starting to dry, then take a bid, okay? And hire the best bidder. Don't hire the emergency contractor to do things that are not truly an emergency. Now, oh, okay, just a couple of quick things just as I wrap it up. I've got a couple more slides. There is no licensing of mold experts in California. There are some states that have certifications of different kinds that involve taking a class for a few hours. You're going to hear in California somebody called the IIRC. They're going to have this IIRC protocol, the S520. That is a mold industry organization. It's by 17 shareholders that are doing mold cleanup. So it is not an independent organization. What do they tell you in the mold industry? Well, mold inspection can be a highly profitable new business. This is from a website of a mold company. So as I wrap up, I think this is my last slide. How do you keep mold from becoming a financial hemorrhage? Waiting too long to do something, testing when it's not necessary, overly demolishing the residents, fear and panic, overusing the emergency contractor and not getting competitive bids. Now, people tell you that mold is not covered by insurance. That's not necessarily true. If it becomes a liability claim, it may be covered by liability insurance. You want to talk to your lawyer about that. How do we avoid mold lawsuits? Well, first of all, act decisively. Show the complaining resident that you share their concern, but give them information that will reassure them from the EPA, from the CDC, from the state of California, and then focus on fixing the leak. If for any reason the tenant or homeowner doesn't let you fix the leak and stop the mold from getting worse, then document it, because now the reason it's getting worse is because of them, not because of you. Okay? And then you can reduce the chances of a lawsuit. So thanks for letting me run a little bit over, and I will be quiet and wait for questions. All right. I'm still starting. I had a lot of material. Thanks, everybody. Okay. Put the logo forward. So I will exit here.
$8 at 100. You don't get a winner. $25 as a winner. Each week have a winner. If we get a winner, the top will begin at $25. It won't last purpose year. We still don't have a winner. It will draw the race until we get a winner. Winner must be person association. When they just first amount that you are here in person. On the main time, and we can always move on, no exceptions. Please in the world. Our winner will be winner B. Yes, she's not. Actually, 125. Right. Now we can guess like 3 meters from those in the $25 Amazon gift card. Good luck. Second winner, Cecilia Huang. Third winner is Marian. Our winners could be not be person to win. Please win the win. Local, state, and national. Get paid an additional $49 filter package contribution by February 2023. Factors going to one of the 5 visa gift valued at $100. Right. Data. No. Present. Thank you for linking. Right now. Second week, Yao Zhang Chen. From long eye. Thank you. Congratulations to our winners. Play on the screen. So we have special setting basically nursing April 11, 2023. And we also have CR virtual training creating a Saturday, Wednesday, April 2023 at 9 a.m. And we also have 45 hours, 3 hours license senior class on April 2023. And the cost is 85. And we also have different fund training on April 17, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. For our 50/50 raffle, how much is the raffle? Please print our raffle is $50. Can I give this number will be 191108. Okay, 191. All right. And our meeting. If there's anyone who would like listening, Richardson period, let's come to the front of your flyer. So with that announcement, I'm really help. The lady. All right. Please join us next week, April 2020. Our speaker will be Joyce Liu of Southern California Edison. Her topic will be solar panel building plans. Thank you, everyone, for joining our meeting. This meeting is now adjourned.